Welcome to the Lean Out Your Business podcast, a show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs accelerate business growth and simplify success. I'm your host, Krista Grasso, and I've been working with businesses for more than 2 decades to help them lean out and optimize what's working while eliminating anything that's not adding value. So if you are ready to get more time back in your day, more profit in your business, and to do business differently, growing and scaling on your terms, let's dive into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Lean Out Your Business podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about the importance of focus in really achieving the results that you want in your business and in your life so that you are able to very holistically live that rich, fulfilled life that I talk about often. What I want to talk about specifically today is what I call the law of focus. We have heard of all of the laws, law of attraction being one that we hear about all the time. When I think about business success, and if you really boil it down to just 1 or 2 words, it's intentionality and focus. And so today I want to talk specifically about the law of focus and the importance of having that focus, understanding what to focus on where, and creating the space for focus on all of the different facets, both within our business and outside of our business, and how to manage that in a way that's actually productive and fulfilling instead of overwhelming and draining. Because we all know context switching is not a recipe for ongoing sustainable success. So how do you look at having focus across multiple things and not falling into the downside of context switching, where nothing really gets your full attention and really gets the best possible results? So first things first, I'll share a little bit of a personal story. Is I had shared on an episode recently that I've got quite a bit going on in my personal life that is taking a lot of my current focus. And as I've been reflecting on that, as I've been really working through a lot of those things, one of the things that really struck me is the reason that I'm in this place and why this needs to be such a focus for me right now is because I lost my focus on it in the past couple of years. And I think really often that ends up happening, right? We're in a season of growth or a season of scale, or we're in a season where we've got this big milestone or this big achievement that we're going after in our business. And we end up putting so much of our focus there that we end up losing or overlooking some of the things that are really important outside of our business. For some of us, this can be health, this can be relationships, this can be making time to actually do fun things that refuel you and recharge you, right? There's a lot of different facets to our personal lives and our non-work that are important and really individualized for each of us. And it's important that we are creating the space and the conditions to be able to maintain the focus on those things while we're also focusing on what's important within our business. So I learned the hard way, not for the first time in my entrepreneurial journey, and hopefully the last, but we all know that doesn't always work out that way. But that being said, I have recently relearned the lesson that I do need to be looking very holistically across my entire rich, fulfilled life and making sure that I am putting my focus on all of the areas that are important to me and not sacrificing one for another. And even though this is something that I teach, this is something that I'm really effective at helping my clients with, it does not mean that sometimes I do not need to relearn this and redo this all myself. And I think it's that constant relearning and that constant experience that actually does help me to see it so well in other people, to recognize in my clients when they are falling into a trap of not putting enough focus on the right things and that very multifaceted, holistic look at their life, as opposed to just being so singularly focused on one thing in their business or one particular area. So as I'm going through my own journey there, it's really making me think about, okay, so practically, when we look at our business, where should we be putting our focus on our business? And how do we also create the space for that focus outside our business for all of the categories that I mentioned, right? When we do Rich Fulfilled Life together, whether you join me at the Reimagine retreat, whether you join Simplify to Scale or our Ops Academy program, we always start absolutely everything with Rich Fulfilled Life, and then we move on to vision. Because to me, Rich Fulfilled Life is what it's all about, right? Yes, we want to build this incredible business. Yes, we want to make a big impact. We typically want to leave a legacy. There's a lot of reasons why we do what we do and why we're compelled to be entrepreneurs and show up in the way that we do. But to me, it always circles back to a rich, fulfilled life. And the irony and the unfortunate thing is sometimes in the pursuit of doing that, we actually sacrifice facets of our rich, fulfilled life. So when we work together, we always start there and we look at what are those facets that are important to you, because they are different for everybody. I know for me, my family, my friends, my husband, my dog, those things are all really important to me. I relax in water. I relax by going to the spa. Those are things that I need to create space for. I love, 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 love going to concerts, especially Bret Michaels. If you do not know, I have a slight obsession there. And so I always make space for concerts, and I typically go see Bret Michaels and Poison at least once a year, sometimes once a month. Back in the pre-COVID days, I used to actually hop on a plane and travel all over the US to see him. It's not as many opportunities these days, but I take advantage of all of the ones that I can get. And so we each have those things. I know lately I've been really getting into working out, which I never thought I would say those words out loud because I've never really been a fan of working out, but I've learned to really start enjoying it. I walk every day. I do Pilates every day. I play, what's it called? Beat Saber, I think it's called. I might be getting that wrong, but I play something on the VR that is such an incredible workout and way too fun. I do that almost every single night to wind down at the end of the day. And so I'm finding that that has gotten added to my rich, fulfilled life. Whereas if you had spoken to me a year ago, that would not have been included in it. So I think we all have our own individual facets, and those shift and those grow and change over time. But the key is that you're clear on what they are. What are those things that are important to you? What do you need to create space for? And how can you create that space? So one of the other things that we do together, and it's part of the Rich Fulfilled Life blueprint that all of our clients build out and put together, is something that I call a time pie. And if you picture a pie chart, just picture any pie chart, it's really looking at what are all of the different pieces of pie and how much do you want to allocate to each of those. And the reality is there is never a perfect balance in business. We go through different seasons. Every day can be a little bit different. Every week can be a little bit different. But sometimes we have seasons that are very largely focused on our personal lives. We have other seasons that are very largely focused on our business. And that's all fine. That's great. But I think what you do want to do is, again, going back to that word, intentionality and focus, you want to have some intentionality around where you're putting your time. You don't want to have a week, a month, a quarter, a year, 10 years disappear where you realized, oops, I didn't put my time on the things that were important to me. And it happened somewhat unintentionally because you were so just deep into the day-to-day of what you were doing. So I think you want to, with some intentionality, look at where do you want to put your time and how much of your time do you want to put where. Now, the intention is not so that every day is perfect or every week is perfect. It's more just that you're being really intentional and you're focusing your efforts where you want to grow, where you want to have the experiences and the results that you want. And there's two different levels of time pie. There's an overarching time pie of which your business is just one of those pieces of the pie. And then there's actually a business time pie where you look at where you spend your time within your business. And there's different facets there as well. But if you look at the highest level with your business is just simply a piece of your overarching pie of your rich, fulfilled life, how much time do you want to be allocating to your business on a normal work day or a normal work week? And how much time do you want for the rest of your life, for the other things that are important to you? And what are those other things? And so that, I think, is something to really be looking at. And you want to revisit that and look at that often. I recommend you do it at least every quarter, if not, minimally every year as part of your look ahead at the upcoming year. But I think more frequently, because we can start to drift away from the things that are important to us and not even realize it until it's too late. And that's exactly what ended up happening where I am in the area of refocus that I am currently in. And so that is the first piece of this that I wanted to share with you, kind of leveraging my own experience there, is looking at that macro level between your business and creating space for all of the things outside your business. Because with the law of focus, right, you get the results based on what you focus on. And so your business might be completely thriving, and that's amazing, but is your health, your relationship, your joy suffering as a result because you're putting all your focus on your business? Or do you have enough focus on each so that you're feeling healthy, you're feeling really strong in your relationships, you're doing things for fun and to refuel and to recharge, and you are still running a thriving business and able to scale or grow based on the level that you're at in your business? So that's the first piece of things. Now, the next piece is, let's take this through the lens of your business itself and looking at what does your business need to be focused on to get to the next level. Not necessarily what you personally need to be doing, but what does your business need? Now, there's a lot of different facets of running a business. There's a lot of different core systems that you want to have in place for a really successful, sustainable business model. A lot of things that I talk about on this podcast regularly. I break those down into the 9 engines, and there's really 3 overarching categories. One is strategic growth and retention. And this is where you're raising visibility for your brand, you're doing business development activities, you're making sure that your marketing and your sales engines are really effective, and you're having high conversions, and also that you are delivering an exceptional experience for your clients with mechanisms in place to retain those clients and move them into whatever next level offers are going to deepen their transformation. So that's more of your growth side of things. Now, balanced with that is going to be the optimization side of things, your operational excellence. This is you actually running your business really well. This is making sure that you are keeping things simple, that you have things systematized, that you're automating where you can and leveraging tools and technology, and really focused on productivity and operational excellence and efficiency, as well as consistently looking at where you can improve things. One of the main areas of waste in a small business is consistently focusing on new things instead of optimizing the existing things that you already have. Because sometimes the results that you want are actually found in optimization, not in new. New is the slowest, usually either money expensive or time expensive path to getting results. Whereas finding something that's already working and optimizing it and getting incrementally better results from what's already converting well, from what's already functioning well, from what's already performing well, that is your path to a whole lot better results. That's your path to improved results in your business. And so first we've got strategic growth, and then we move on to operational excellence and optimization. And then the third bucket is what I call your sustainable success and aligned action. And this is your rich, fulfilled life. This is your fulfillment engine. This is making sure you're super clear on where you want to go personally within your business. You've got clarity of vision and values. Those are things that you're sharing back with your team. You've got a business model that's going to take you where you want to go, and it's not going to require you to work 24/7. You've got a lean strategic planning system in place, or some way to manage the work, the goals, the revenue targets, the delivery of your commitments, so that you're getting consistent results in the business and consistent results for your clients. And then finally, your sustainability engine, right? How are you going to keep that balance of short-term wins with long-term sustainable success, and a pace that does not burn you out, that does not burn your team out, and that ultimately leads to the future and the legacy that you want, not just the short-term things that put you on that constant roller coaster of results. So obviously there's a lot of detailed areas that we could dive deeper into in where you would be focused in your business. But at a super high level, it's those three categories: strategic growth, operational excellence and optimization, and then sustainability, which is sustainable success and aligned action. And so when you look within your business, do you have focus across your business on the right things? Now, you personally may focus your time in one of those areas, right? Most visionary leaders like to stay in the place of visioning or in the place of strategy and growth. Most don't like to stay in the place of optimization and operational excellence. But there are some of you out there that may be wired that way, and that may be the place that you want to spend your time. And where you do spend your time, and maybe you surround yourself with people who can look at growth and marketing and sales and some of those other facets of the business. So, you want to look at where is your business focused right now. And when you look at your results, I guarantee you what you will notice is wherever your results do not meet your expectations, it is probably because you have put your focus too heavily in one of those areas and you have taken your focus away from one of the others. There was a previous episode that I did on growth versus optimization. If you've not listened to that one, highly recommend that you go back and listen. It's a really great episode where I shared the risk that happens where businesses tend to be so singular focused on one or the other that they end up creating major gaps. So if you're in a period of growth, amazing. You're so focused on growing that you're bringing in new clients, you're bringing in new revenue, right? It seems great on paper. It looks amazing. You've got numbers going up all over the place. The problem with it is if you're not optimizing, if you're not simplifying as you're actually growing, what's happening is you are also growing all of your complexity, all of your waste. Even though your revenues are up, your profits are frequently down because your resources are going up through the roof. Resources being time, being people, being tools, technology, money. All of the things are going up as you're growing because you are not focused on optimization at the same time. And on the flip side, if you get so laser focused in on optimization, sometimes what happens is you end up really optimizing what you currently have, which is great. The current clients you have, the current processes you have, it all runs like a well-oiled machine. It's amazing. But what ends up happening is you stop growing. You stop bringing in new leads because you're not focused on business development anymore. You're focused on back-end optimization. And so you do need that holistic balance across the two. And the sustainability factor is really important. You always want to be resetting your sights on the vision and where you want to be taking things and making sure that you're making all of your decisions and taking all of your actions in alignment with where you want to take the business, where you want to be spending your time, what you see next. And that's that next level vision. And so you do need that focus across all three. And if you are struggling in any area of your business right now, it is because the business probably does not have the focus on all three things. You probably have your focus more so in one of the three areas, maybe two. So law of focus says, look at what's important, right? Are you creating space for what's important outside your business and within your business? And then when we look specifically within your business, do you have the right focus on those three overarching areas? Do you have the right focus on each of the 9 engines? Now, they don't all need the same depth of focus at the same time, but they do all need focus. And once you identify where you're at, and again, if you're not sure, just look at your results. Your results will tell you every single time where you have gaps or where your focus may be too heavy in one area and too light in another. So once you have that clarity, the next piece of it is who focuses where within your team. Which pieces do you focus on? Which pieces do you leverage existing team members or existing tools and systems for? And where do you have gaps where it's pretty obvious who you may need to hire next or how you may need to upskill somebody on your team to be able to take on additional capabilities? If you want help with any of that, that is something that I absolutely love to deep dive into in a VIP strategy day, or what I call a COO for a day session, where we get under the covers of all of the different pieces and facets of your business. We look at where there's opportunities to shift your focus for better results. We look at where you maybe are out of alignment with the vision that you have and how you could make some shifts and some pivots to get back in alignment and really take your business where you want to go and free yourself up to be able to do more of your genius work, more of your legacy work. So that's something that we can do together privately, or that's what we do with you inside Simplify to Scale. That is exactly what we do with you and your right-hand team member. Is we look at and we assess where you're at in relation to each of the 9 engines. We look at and help you build out your rich, fulfilled life blueprint and create the space for the things that are important to you across all of those different facets within and outside your business. And where we provide the mentorship, and even for those of you who need it, the done for you services to fill the gaps that you may have on your team. The Lean Out Method team kind of becomes and integrates into your team. So if any of that sounds like something that would be beneficial to you, I'd love to just put some time on the calendar and chat. You could go to leanoutmethod.com/consult anytime to put time on my calendar. If you can't find time on my calendar, go to scalingstrategycall.com and you could put time on Jordan's calendar. She is amazing and a rock star and my right-hand woman in my business. But at the end of the day, it's really important to be intentional with your time, to be laser focused on the things that are most important, and to build your overall ecosystem for success, where you're surrounding yourself with the right team members, putting the right systems and tools and technology in place, putting the right things in place so that you can stay laser focused on what's most important to you in and out of your business, while your business holistically is staying focused on each of the 9 engines and facets that's important for your business to move forward and achieve the next level. So that is what I call the law of focus. And it is really, again, just looking at where you're focused is where your results tend to be. So if you're not seeing the results that you want, reverse engineer, look at where you have gaps in focus and reapply your focus to those places. I hope you got a lot of value out of this episode. I will see you again next week. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Lean Out Your Business podcast. I hope you got a lot of value and actionable insights from today's show, and would love if you take a moment to leave us a review. If you have any questions on today's episode or on how to lean out your business, join us over in our private Facebook community, where every week we do live training and Q&A, and I'd love to have you be part of the conversation. Head to leanoutmethod.com/group to join us. And before you go, be sure to subscribe to the show so you're the first to know when we release a new episode. We'll see you next week.